Okay. Good morning, everybody. 5th of October, and time's ticking. We're leaving on the weekend to Cape Town. So, and a few other, I just saw some other team members already going down because everyone thought the boats would be arriving earlier than they may be. Anyway, all very interesting stuff. And Explorer's set her ETA somewhere around Christmas, apparently. And Outlaw reckons about this 27th of October. So, all very fun and frustrating at the same time. It's been a very slow start into the tracker, but let's see what happens here. I'll just change that view there. Okay, so this is the really strange one here. Obviously there is the alternate track. You have the usual system of going down on what you'd call the trade wind route, and that's pretty much cutting through the doldrums and coming down here and then getting to the South Atlantic High, ripping along the bottom and coming into Cape Town. Okay, and then the other track is to sort of, if you imagine this the South Atlantic High centering at the moment, it's quite low, but if it's centered about here and rolling around with the winds like that, you can sort of cut down through the middle and take it as it comes, push to windward a bit, because these boats like the Swans and all the rest of them, they go to windward pretty well, maybe a bit better than going downwind on the trade wind route. And so you see a route that sort of takes them down this way, coming a bit more direct. And for whatever reason now, Outlaw's going out pretty much to the east, which is amazing. Even if I was, say traditionally, you would think, okay, you'd probably only go out there if you were either on a tack. But if you say most boats, if we look at this, your boat is tacking through, say, 90 degrees for psychological reasons. Okay, 90 degrees, you're either going out that way, or the other way, you're coming down this way. And coming down this way is going sort of more south if you're on, port tack. So it's still not going out here to the west. You're not losing ground, but you're still sailing more of a direct course on the rum line. And I'm really surprised they just keep heading out to the east out here, which is really not sailing towards the mark. So, and then ironically, Avrika's in the same situation. She obviously made the decision a few days ago to take the middle road, push to windward, direct down to Cape Town. But again, if you're going in this direction here, he's trying to get easting. He's not too far across yet, but if you tacked across and made it a 90-degree tack, and it wouldn't, it'd probably be tacking through 110, but just to keep the boat a bit comfortable, see, which way would you go? I'd be tempted to think maybe down the rum line here still. But let's see how it pans out, and that's fun to watch for sure. So, Godspeed. Look at that, right in the middle of nothing, but they're still moving. So let's see. They're currently doing 5.1 knots, and they've been doing that pretty much all the way through. This last bit, they still managed 91 nautical miles in the last 24 hours. So that's pretty good. They've got a bit more breeze, obviously, than is showing on this graphic, suggesting there's no wind there at all, but they're still trumping along. So that's kind of cool. And if we look at it, someone passed a comment, oh, do you think Godspeed will catch up to Explorer? Quite possibly. But anyway, they're just under 400 miles away from Explorer. That's taking that route. Now, that's going to be, or should be, a slow 400 miles, because they've got to make the doldrums and they'll get the thunderstorms and the squalls like everyone else, but it's part of the course. And hopefully now Explorer is in the breeze. She's sailing again. She's now up to 5.8, but early this morning she was still only doing 1 point something knots, so not much at all. So happy to see Explorer on the move. Did 82 nautical miles in the day. She lost out about 100 miles on some of them in the last little period. Sterner doing 5.7 as well, but 134 mile day. So she's pulled out like 40 miles from Explorer because she got the breeze quicker. So let's hope this holds, this breeze gradient. And White Shadow, 146 miles in the last 24 hours and doing 6.6. So still all of them are moving better than Explorer, only 82, but she's slowly cranking up. So let's hope they can hold that. Galliana with secure 7.7. She got a photo back in and showing everything up again, mise en staysail, you name it, the works. But it must have been before they got into this breeze, because she seems to be taking it on the beam there, if this graphic is right, which could be, because 7.7 is pretty powerful, and 156 miles in the day. Not too fussed about coming over here. One thing that Tapio knows well is the general route planning and breeze concepts. He knows that as he gets further down, he'll be able to hook the course around. The same with Triana and all the rest of it. So still making good ground. 8th in line honours, 7th in IRC, 2nd in adventure class. She's chasing Triana, who's also in adventure class. Neptune is on a roll now, 8 knots and 182 nautical miles in the last 24 hours. So they've been struggling to pull away from this tail end group. They used to be up with the lead group there a week or so ago, but they've lost out badly in the doldrums, which is unfortunate. But that's yacht racing, I suppose. So Triana still dumping along. They've slowed down a bit. They were doing 7.7, 7.8 previously, but now 7.5. 176 nautical mile a day. That's pretty good. They've been putting out those figures for a while. So right up there, right alongside the Spirit Equip, which is amazing. If you put them in the marina and you put Triana alongside the Spirit Equip, you'd think they'd be cheese and chalk, but Triana have been doing extremely well. And the Spirit Equip doing okay, 6.6 knots, 178 nautical miles in the day. Again, 5th in line honours, 6th in IRC, and 4th in flyer class. So that's all good. Then Maiden, 7.1 knots, 53 nautical mile days. There's something gone wrong there, and I'm not sure what it is, because she's been keeping those speeds up quite solidly. So she would have done probably 180 mile day again, and it's showing 53 nautical mile day, and I'm not sure why. It could be because this turn point in the general route planning, which is just a software program pulling that up. And what might happen now is in the next call, she'd be down here somewhere, and then she might pick up on this route plan here. So you should or could see her daily mileage become more realistic. But anyway, one thing's for sure, the 4-hour average speed, which is 7.1 knots, is correct, and you can see the direction she's going. So don't despair on the daily run for the moment. Translated, still doing extremely well, still holding the lead, 1st in IRC, 1st in flyer class, and 258 nautical mile day. That sounds a bit over ambitious, but if she was doing 8 knots to 16, she'd have to be doing 10 knots average over that time. So there's a bit of a waffle going on here, and I'm not sure why that is, but wouldn't have done that speed. And I think let's just see what's happening once they get past that corner point. Spirit of Helsinki, 8.4 knots, 181 nautical mile a day, 2nd in line honours, 3rd in IRC. So I think it'll be Penduic again that's holding 2nd in IRC. Let's have a look. Yeah, Penduic has got 2nd IRC, and she knows their biggest threat, Marie knows her biggest threat is Translated. Anyway, Penduic is 1st in line on the 2nd in IRC, 2nd in flyer class, and that's under IRC, 2nd in flyer class. 176 nautical mile a day, 10 knot average. I don't know what's going on there, because she's been on 10 knots for a while. So again, that distance I think is reflecting distance made good, velocity made good to Cape Town rather than just through the water. Because you can see, if we then come back to a point where you can see Cape Town, she's setting away from Cape Town at the moment, and that's why the daily run is showing only 176 nautical miles, because that's towards Cape Town, okay? But through the water, she'd be higher than that. The weather here, we'll go back and look at the next 2 hours, but you can see it's still dominated by this big high pressure system, and their trades are picking up. The sea for the leaders is picking up. That'll be up to 3 to 4 meters now. Yep, that's come into 3 to 4 meters, and they're pushing it close reaching. So there'll be a lot of water over the boats right now for these leaders, and they're all going to come into that. So we'll go back now and look at what's going to happen in the next couple of days for each of the boats, starting off back here, I'll just decrease that. Come into Godspeed. We'll just look at what they're likely to see if we come forward 24 hours, around about there somewhere. Still showing light winds, but that's what it's showing, and they're still doing 5.5 knots. So we go this one. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. That's could work out well for Godspeed, because there is absolutely a pressure gradient there, and hopefully they can keep that. We'll see. They're close in on the coast here right now. They're really cutting the corner. So if we just go forward another day, yeah, a bit of breeze. At least there's things happening. There's not a big hole. So Godspeed could do all right out of that. So come back here to Explorer. Everyone else that entered this zone at the beginning was saying, oh, they thought they got the trades, but then there were holes and so on. It looks like Explorer's got into the trades now and slowly building for them. And the others certainly are. So if we come forward 24 hours now, getting a bit softer. So you might see Explorer fluff around a bit, and maybe even here it's not. It's absolutely a gradient, but not strong. Here's the strong bit down here, and that could make it inconsistent. So anything could happen for these four boats. I think Neptune's fine. Evrika, who knows what, but it's certainly slanting forward, and they're still pushing over to the east. You might see Evrika attack. I don't know, and I have no idea what Outlaw's going to do, but there is a breeze there, and you can see here there's still a bit of east in that. So it's a southeasterly down here, and that still means the favoured tack is on port tack coming down. So maybe we'll see them tack across. So bring it forward second day, all pretty much the same, but certainly going to light up the back here for that lot. Nothing happening down here in the trades. It's you know what direction it's going to come from, but how strong is it going to blow? That's the bottom line, and it's picking up. So they've got plenty of boat speed there, plenty of power. It's just hang on for the ride and push it as hard as they want, or as hard as they can bear, because they could be, it's not so comfortable as they've been used to. Temperatures have got a little bit milder now. Let's have a look at the temperature. Dropping a bit, but not a lot. That's still high 20s there. And cloud cover, yeah, they've got some blue sky and fluffy clouds. Typical trade wind stuff by the look of it. So translated, Maiden, got a bit more cloud cover. There's clouds up the back here. Blue sky for Explorer, Sterner, and so on. So, and Evrika, they'd be enjoying that. All right, that's pretty much it for today. I think there's enough there. We'll do a bit more, and I'm just going to check the comments here to see if there's any questions or anything. Holy dooly. Hi, folks. Let's see. Seemed to be something wrong with the tracker. Yeah, absolutely. I just mentioned that. Using distance, that's exactly right. So just 100%, yep, that's right. As I said yesterday, if you didn't cop it, the program from Yellowbrick is really good. It's not a custom-built program for us for super sophisticated America's Cup type racing where everything's blah, 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 blah. If we wanted to do that, we would have had to spend, we've had quotes on it, over $100,000 to try and do a dedicated program on this to the level that most of the bigger events are running with, but we have no partners, and we're quite happy to use the Yellowbrick system, but it's not absolutely perfect. But as you've done the numbers there, Nicola, you can keep an eye on it, and it'll answer your questions quite comfortably. You can use the distance measuring tool. You can work out their average speeds and distance to go. So that's about it. So basically, yes, it's not a custom-built program. We didn't have the budget for that. And as underwriters, we're very happy to be using this Yellowbrick tool. Not perfect, but it's pretty good. And it'll make a bit more sense as you're coming into closing legs and starts and things like that. So, and certainly when it's more straight line, it's a little bit more accurate. Morning, Kathleen. Morning there. Morning. Good evening from Adelaide. Bit of a Hampshire. Cool. Simon, the maiden versus translated distance over 24 hours is dependent on whether they're heading towards or away from the run line. That's exactly right. Yep. Oh, that was an answer probably to the one before. Not sure if you answered before. Do any of the boats use Starlink? Yes, there is especially Penjuic has special dispensation for their Starlink, but that dispensation runs out in Cape Town, and unless they fit the OGR approved Starlink system, they won't have Starlink on the next leg, and they're running out of time now. Translated has got an approved Starlink system. Neptune is fitting an approved Starlink system in Cape Town, I believe. That was their plan when they left Southampton, so that's being organised, I think. And that's it. Dominic on Evrika has a Certus system, so they're the three that currently are able to send video. Most of the other boats sending photos are using the Iridium Go Exec, which we control as well. It has a using our SIM card. We have forensic analysis of the SIM cards. Oh, sorry, the other one was for Starlink is Triana. They're working with M6 and so on. So Triana have a Starlink as well. And the photos are usually coming back on the execs, and then the phone calls are Iridium sat phones using OGR SIM cards. So we manage the accounts and see that they're not breaking any communication rules. I remember you saying a few days ago that one of the boats had a problem with the desalination. Did they manage to sort that out? That's Neptune. No, they've basically given up now on sorting that out, and they have water. I wouldn't call it rationing yet, but they're monitoring and managing their water very closely on Neptune. Most of the other boats are okay. Explorer, for whatever reason, Explorer carries 800 litres of water, which is 800 kilograms. And for whatever reason, even with the desalinator, their water management keeps topping it up. I would have dumped half of that water. I would be dumping it progressively as we're going to give yourself a couple of litres for each of the days that you might need to get to Cape Town if your desalinator popped it. But anyway, they're carrying 800 litres of water still, and they've got a brand new desalinator on there, doing really well, producing everything they need. So most of the boats are all okay for water. So I think that's it. Thank you very much, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow.